All right, let's see if we can get some 5x5s, a picture, everything of the sort. So I will wait on my screen and see what we got. And hopefully there comes the screen. Okay, I can see me. Can y'all see me, hear me, do whatever? Okay, we will watch. Tim with the 5x5. Getting quick. All right. Okay. Happy Tuesday, guys. The second Monday of the week. Done. So let's start with a little bit of fun tonight. We're coming close to the end of the year. This is about the time where everybody does their top 10 lists or everything like that soon enough, or start putting them together. I'm going to tell you one thing that's definitely on mine. Okay. We'll probably see the top 10 words that were common in the vernacular of the year that you hated. Okay. And whether it's CRT or COVID or woke, I will tell you what my most hated word is this year: temporary, or its synonym of transitional. Nothing's driving me more nuts than this because everything is temporary, temporarily permanent. So I'll give you this. The misery index. If you guys know what this was coined back in the 80s. It's a index, if you will, to see where the population, thinks we are, how good your life is. And what they do is they combine inflation and unemployment and come up with the misery index. Right now, guys, we are at a point that we've only touched, basically in my adult life, during the 2008 2009 recession and during the 1990 recession. That's it. Americans weren't this miserable during 9/11, anything like that. It's financial that gets everybody. And we're seeing the same thing over again. Destroy the economy, destroy the morale of the people. And that's what's going on. A lot of you guys mentioned Ice Age Farmer's video today. I got a dozen emails at least saying I need to watch it. I already seen it. Christian, somebody that I watch religiously. And I had seen the video when he put it up. And actually, I've gone into a little bit more detail on what he talked about and some other things. So that's the topic of tomorrow's video. So that's already there. So we'll go over that in the morning. So we don't have to discuss that one tonight. So that was that. But yeah, the misery index was interesting. And if you guys want to add this, keep an eye on the news. China has now started moving troops over to the Straits of Taiwan. So they are worried about the Taiwanese being a secessionist state, and they can't have that, so they are now positioning troops right across the water. That, who knows how fast that one goes off? That could be soon at this point. So that was that. And then we had a Gavin Newsom sighting today. So he didn't look like he was paralyzed or anything of the sort. So, like I said in the video over on the other channel, if he just decided to take 2 weeks off to go see Ivy Getty's wedding, okay, why he needed 2 weeks off to be a guest, who knows? But the thing I got a kick out of, though, if that was the reason that he went, let me see, a billionaire oil tycoon's white daughter, that doesn't seem to strike me as the socially responsible, liberal type person Gavin Newsom should be hanging around with. I mean, hell, somebody that made their billions in oil is a family friend? Things that make you go, interesting, huh? So, yeah, just some things that were flying over the radar today that I picked up on. But apparently all the rumors of him having Guillain-Barré or Bell's palsy or anything like that. Either he had the world's fastest recovery, or again, that was wishful thinking on some people's parts. But like I said, being a human being, I'm happy he's not sick. Okay. But yeah, it's a friend's neighbor's barber's husband's boss told me it is not a reliable source. So, there's still plenty of people out there that are just talking for clicks or whatever it would be. So, but not that I agree with anything he stands for, but I'm not going to wish ill on anybody to, get a debilitating side effect or anything like that. Just saying, I believe it or not, I actually do have heart. So, may not seem like it sometimes, but there it is. All right, so let's get into the point of being here tonight, and that's your guys' questions. For those of you that are new, I'll kind of go over this real quick. Please keep all your questions directed to me in all capital letters. Those are the only ones that I'm going to look for. Feel free to have conversations amongst yourself. Keep those in lowercase. That way I can skip through the chat a lot quicker looking for questions that are directed to me. It just makes life a lot easier. It's nothing new. Most channels do it the same way. The other thing is, please keep it clean. PG-13 is pretty much where we like to stick around here. Relatively family friendly. I wouldn't say have your 6-year-old in here, but if you got your 12-year-old, your 13-year-old, there's not going to be any language they haven't heard in school anyway. So go there. We do have the best moderators in the business in here between Jacob, Robert, North Shore, and Lucky Dame. So they are always doing an excellent job in keeping the riffraff out of here. And looks like we've already got 3 of them. So I'm assuming they were already eliminated. But I will let anybody that's new know what kind of the rules they go by is this. All right. Disagreeing is perfectly acceptable. Encourage that, right? Everybody's got their opinion. I don't expect anybody to agree with me 100%, not even Mrs. P. Being an ass will get you tossed, okay? We don't do 300-second timeouts here. We just say goodbye, and it's a permanent goodbye. There is no appeals process. You are done. You don't come back to live streams. You don't make comments on videos. You are just goodbye. So, engage this before putting this in action. So, I say that every week, and every week we get more people that just put their head where the sun don't shine. So, all right. Let's get into some questions here. As usual, I start from the top, work my way down. Guys, there's almost 1,000 of you in here and 1 of me, so I get to them as fast as I can. If I don't answer your question within 5 or 10 minutes, feel free to type it again. If I see it a second time, I'll skip over it. No big deal. But I'm not trying to jump over anybody. I don't skip anybody. All questions are fair game, provided they fit into the YouTube standards, all right? There's certain things we don't talk about, okay? That or the new rule that went into effect November 1st, we can't talk about that either. So in the interest in keeping me out of jail, those comments I will skip over. Other than that, I try to get through as many as I can. Just please understand, I can only go so fast. I want to give you guys good answers, not 2-word answers unless it's a yes or no question. So I will try to answer as completely as I can. It's kind of like being in court. All right, so let's see where we got. All the hellos in there. Patty Bob in here from Germany saying good evening to everybody. Yaya 18 saying hello from Northwest Georgia. As usual, we got everybody. They're South Colorado Steader's favorite words, woke and racist. There you go. Yeah, those will definitely make the top 10 list at the end of the year. Fingirl ECG. Yeah, like daylight savings time, which started in the 70s, was supposed to be temporary. Yeah, so I love it. Now it's dark at 6 o'clock. I mean, granted, the days are getting shorter. I understand the solar aspect of it, but it's like, though I got to say, when it's still dark at 8 o'clock in the morning, that's Yeah, never mind. Just want longer days, period. I need to live closer to the equator, I guess. Okay. Brandon, there's another good word. Mandates, yes. Okay. Happy Canner. The heck with where's Waldo? Where's Newsom? No kidding. All right. So let's get to some questions here. Do. David Williams is in here. Another country heard from. We got Germany and Mexico. I know we got Canada in here because North Shore's in here. Teresa, I've missed your videos. I needed a break. I don't blame you one bit, okay? Guys, I've said this many times. Prepping it can be overwhelming. Take a break, walk away from the computer, walk away from your pantry, do whatever. Enjoy life today, okay? Because you don't get today back. So, Angry Prepper just took a break for a week, lost his job last Friday because of the mandates, and decided to take 5 days or whatever off. Don't blame him, okay? Stressful time, go have fun with the kids, go clear your head, all right? We got to do that stuff, all right? So trust me, there's some times where I say to Mrs. P, it's like, I need some time off. I won't do the morning video at the night. I'm just like, no, I need to chill out. I'll get up in the morning and do it, whatever. She asked me, she says, do you still have fun doing this? I'm like, absolutely, still do. Makes me follow the news that much closer. It's still a good thing. So, and I enjoy our time together, be it this way or in videos. So, Patricia Lavasser, I'm going to take a guess. My apologies if I pronounced it wrong. Any news about Gavin Newsom? He showed up at this conference that he needed to, that he was speaking at today. I didn't listen to him because I wasn't going to hear the junk that was coming out of his mouth, but I watched 15 seconds of it just to see, if there was any truth to the rumors. No, he had no paralysis in the right side of his face or anything like that. So, looked normal. So that was it. So, if he was taking time off, like I said at the top for this wedding, hey, more power to him. Happy Canner, new normal. There's another good one. Let's see. East Tennessee Preparedness, Jim, what do you think? What do you think? I think China and Russia will go at the same time. Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be a joint effort, if you will, because that splits the whole world as, which one do you see as more important? And, again, fighting a two-front war, ask the Germans in World War II what fighting a two-front war is like. Though the U.S. seemed to manage a European theater and a Pacific theater, but even then. But yeah, when you talk about Russia, Ukraine, China, Taiwan at the same time, yeah, that's got, like I said in yesterday morning's video, let's just have something go on between Iran and Israel at the same time too. Let's just get it all over at once and blow the whole world up, because that's what'll end up happening. Scrolling on down. Huts John, Pinball, you don't know if Newsom got a vaccine or a vitamin B12 shot? Of course I don't know. Sorry. Yeah, nobody from the propaganda department from the federal government, let alone the state governments, is calling me up and telling me what's going on. So let's see. Leaning Palm Ranch. Do I think there will be a world fiat currency backed by gold in the near future? No. Simple reason. There's way too much debt that somehow has to be erased, and there's not enough gold value in the world to do it all. And again, you're not going to have, China's trying to get its digital yuan backed by gold, and therefore they can say it's a more stable currency than the dollar. But if that happens, you have to see a massive, and again, this is all WEF stuff, massive depopulation of the world, total erasure of all debt, and start over again. I mean, if you want to talk about what a collapse looks like that, with the whole world to do it, take a look at how the Soviet Union fell apart in 91. Okay. It's not like it happens overnight, and all of a sudden the next day, oh, okay, now we're on this currency. I mean, look at housing, for example. For generations, your housing was provided for by the government in the Soviet Union. Okay. You had your government apartment and your family lived there or whatever it would be. And then all of a sudden, that didn't exist anymore. And the people who lived in the apartment, now ownership transferred to them. But then you had the issue of you had multiple generations that lived in an apartment, or you could have had roommates in an apartment or something like that. It's not so easy that they go, oh, okay, the dollar and the euro and the yen and the yuan and the peso and whatever will disappear, and we're all going to go to this crypto coin backed by gold. It's not that easy, and no, I don't see it happening. As much as they want to talk about CBDC, I don't see it as feasible. The people will never put up with it. Hang on, I want to try something. And I can't see who it was. I apologize. Somebody popped in there with the super chat and I missed it. So I do apologize for, I saw it and I didn't get there. My bad. Thank you. Okay. All right. Back to where we were. Well, nope. The computer decided not to go back to where we were. So now I got to find this again. There we go. Was that it? Prepper for life. There we go. Thank you. All right. SV Whisper, and I know I lost a bunch of questions here when it shot me about them. Dehydrator or freeze dryer? Okay. For 99.9% of us, dehydrator. Why? You get a dehydrator for $100. Freeze dryer costs you about $4,000. I don't know about anybody else, but that ain't my budget. I know people talk about great things from a freeze dryer. I've mentioned it a few times. You got to see if it's going to be cost effective for you. I mean, even for me and Mrs. P, it's not cost effective. Dehydrating is much more cost effective. If you have a larger family, sure. But for two of us, no, it's not going to be cost effective whatsoever. It'd take us more time than we've got left to pay itself off. John Mott, what is my favorite firearm? Okay, depends on the situation. My favorite sidearm is my CZ, okay, SPO1, but that's too big to carry as a concealed carry, so I've got my 380 that I carry. If it's for home defense, I want my shotgun or I want my AR. It depends. I mean, it's just like anything else. You're not going to pound nails with a screwdriver, okay? It's a tool. Each tool has its own purpose, and you need to know what each tool's purpose is. What do I keep by my nightstand? My sidearm, okay? And in the middle of the night, that will be the first thing that I go to. What sits next to my chair and what is in my pocket all day long when I'm outside or when I go anywhere? My 380. Its pistol's going to be around. Can I get to everything else? Yes, but what is right at hand at any given time is always going to be a pistol. Baby Peach, we're in a bizarro world. Everything's the opposite. Yes, and a bunch of you guys corrected me on that, okay? That bizarro world came from Superman and not from Seinfeld. So, yes, I was wrong. I'm sorry. Thank you. It's like, oh, crap. Yes, and then I was never a comic book person, but yeah, then I remembered the Superman character, and I think he was dressed in all black or something like that, the evil Superman when they did that thing. Melissa Williams, anyone hear about service issues with AT&T and Verizon today? I've got AT&T. I did not, but then again, I didn't get any phone calls today and didn't make any phone calls. Kind of happens that way when you're not working. So, at least in my job. Joseph, best method for storing rice. I don't understand what you mean by PB or community. But best method for storing rice, absolutely throw it in the freezer for 3 days and then Mylar bags in 5-gallon buckets. No question. I know some people say you could throw it in mason jars and throw an O2 absorber in there or vacuum seal it. Yeah, that works fine too. My personal thought is that's an awful lot of mason jars that I'm wasting that I can use for something else, that I can't necessarily store in 5-gallon buckets. I can't store pork or beans or tomatoes or something in a 5-gallon bucket. I can store rice in it. So I want to use my tools where they're going to be most effective. Yeah, well, I knew PB meant me, okay, pinball or community, but I don't understand how the best method for storing rice, me or the community. So, okay, unless it's asking me or the community. So there's the answer. Free me. What do you think will go down with the gas line shutdowns? Well, if they shut down line 5 up in Michigan, Michigan's going to be awfully cold this winter, okay? And so is Ontario, because that's where basically they get all their natural gas, and that's how a lot of the heating is done up there. Then, of course, that means it's got to come from somewhere else. I mean, this is... You guys know this, okay? None of the Democrats can think past the tip of their nose. If they shut down that pipeline, the fuel has to come from somewhere else. So how does it come? Does it come on rail car? Does it come on train? Train is rail car. Does it come via truck? What is it going to be? I mean, it's actually safer to go through a pipeline than it is to go on a train or to go in a truck, okay? How many pipeline accidents can you talk about versus how many train accidents or how many truck accidents, all right? Joe doesn't think. It's not like, oh, we're going to shut down this pipeline and everybody will miraculously go, I'll just turn on my solar power and heat my house this way this winter, okay? You ever lived in Michigan? You got solar panels on the roof? You got snow on the roof for 5 months. Those solar panels are covered. Doesn't do you a whole lot of good. So, but again, Joe can't think past here. A maniac, I'm guessing. Okay, I'm guessing you're from Maine, so cute play on words. All right. Do you think we're in a silent war? I think we are at the beginning of a Cold War, yeah, and not between us and Russia. I think it's between us and China. And, that, if you all remember, most of us are old enough to remember the Cold War from, the 50s through the 90s. It wasn't exactly safe, with this one, it could be worse. Like I said in the video this morning, you go back to what the weaponry was back then versus what it is now. Sure, nuclear warheads, okay, no big deal. But, delivery systems are a whole lot more efficient now than they were then. GPAT, Pinball, thank you for your service. You are most welcome. It was my honor to serve. Lorna, as you said in today's video, let's get into the meat and potatoes, not just the potato and chief. Yeah. Okay. No, I'm going to leave the joke alone there. Bo Roland, do I speak any foreign languages fluently? I don't know. Moving Chesky. Czech. So it's not as good as it used to be because I don't use it that much. God knows my Spanish and my French suck anymore because I haven't used that in years. My Czech is, I can get by. It's kind of funny when Mrs. P's talking in Russian. I try to see how much of that I can understand because they're both Slavic languages. But yeah, Czech would be the only one, and my fluency is not nearly what it used to be. CE Gann, what is the best way to store gasoline? Okay, we've talked about this on previous ones, but it's a name I don't recognize, so I will tell you. I'm assuming you are not talking about storing 500 gallons of gasoline or something like that. If you own a trucking company or something like that, maybe. So I'm going to take a guess here that you are storing gasoline like the normal Joe average homeowner. Maybe you got somewhere between 20 and 50 gallons of gas that you want to store. All right. Your red gas cans, jerry cans, whatever you want to use are fine. Okay. I know a lot of people will say put stable in them or one of the other fuel preservers, fuel additives, or whatever. My answer has always been it's better to rotate it. Go fill your gas cans, 5-gallon gas cans. Let's say you got 6 of them, you got 30 gallons of gas. Fill the gas cans. That's every 6 months. Rotate the gas cans. Take the six gas cans, pour it into your cars, fill your car tanks, and go put fresh gas in those. You're going to use the gas anyway in the car. So at that point, you're fine. Just the best way to store it is to rotate it. If you're going to store, hundreds or thousands of gallons of gas, now you are talking about needing specific containers for them. And, if you're going to talk about storing it in an underground tank, now you're getting into EPA stuff and everything like that. It's not legal. So, hopefully you're talking about doing it like a normal homeowner would. And so that would be my answer. Best way to do it is just put it in there and rotate it. Matthew Kitchens, ammo apocalypse. I haven't bought ammo probably in about a month, but maybe it's been a little longer than that. But last I saw, ammo prices were coming down, and there was, for at least your common calibers, there was enough stock. I mean, 5.56, 7.62, 9mm, 22 LR. When I did the video, I was talking to the guy at the gun store, and he said, still finding 30-30 was, or 30-6 was impossible. But 308 was still fine. The more common calibers were readily accessible. Still more expensive than they were 2 years ago, but less expensive than they were last year. Mr. Brett, your next giveaway, $100 gift card. No, because I need to have them fun. That's it. So, Northern Girl, hello. Let's see. Huts John, what is my favorite handgun and caliber? 9mm CZ SPO1. So, there you go. Jacob A's comment on do not say the let's go phrase. Yes, that is true. YouTube is really getting sticky about that comment. Freedom Rain, was I able to find the apple juice for the Applejack? Yes, eventually. Going back to the store, they get a little bit more in. Yes, now I've got enough. It's all ready to go. Oops. Jennifer, thank you for the super chat. She says, please keep watching the events on La Palma, possible landslide, tsunami, or flooding. Okay. I understand what people are talking about. Okay, this 100-foot tsunami is not coming. If a tsunami came to the East Coast, it would be 2 to 3 meters, 8 to 10 feet. Okay, which still is going to be devastating, but it's not going 40 miles inward. So, and that's a huge if. Okay, something will happen in the next 10,000 years. That's what seismologists and geologists are saying. So, tomorrow is within the next 10,000 years. I will give you that. Okay, but there's a lot more important things to worry about than that one. Jared Patterson, when do you honestly think shit hits the fan for us on the home front? I can't give you an answer. I don't have a crystal ball. I think if China, Taiwan, or Russia, Ukraine pops off, I said that's going to be absolutely the trigger event. I also think that if we have a huge impact to food availability or big impacts to power outages, that will be it too. One of the two. So something's coming. I don't know which one. I don't know when. Again, same thing like La Palma. It could happen tomorrow. It's going to be sooner than 10,000 years for this. But yeah, I can't give you a guess. I mean, something's going to be interesting over the winter. That's about as best I can give you. Mary Adams, in your opinion, if you can talk about it here, what's the best handgun for a woman? The one you're most comfortable with. Okay. And again, this is going to be like anything else. It depends on your environment, what you need it for, your size. Okay. A 5 foot tall woman is going to be able to handle is not going to be able to handle the same size pistol as comfortably as a 6 foot tall woman. I mean, it's just the size of your hands. Okay. You know, the best weapon for anybody to have is the one that you are comfortable and confident with. I mean, that's it. If you're comfortable shooting a 357 Magnum, then that's the best one for you. If you're only comfortable shooting a pocket 22, then that's the best one for you. Okay, you know, half of it is here. You have to be confident in what you're doing. It doesn't matter the caliber. I mean, 22 will do enough damage that you need done. I know you get all these people going, 22 won't do anything. And every time I say that, it's like, okay, let me give you 2 points. First one, most assassins in the world use a 22. Okay. Second point, if you don't believe a 22 will do anything, feel free to stand in front of my target when I'm plinking. I usually don't hear anything back after that comment. So, yeah, if that, whatever you are most comfortable with is the best one to have. Go into the gun store. I mean, trust me, the guys at the gun store will spend hours with you and they will put every gun in your hand and answer every question you want until you're comfortable with them. You're not wasting their time. Rob Blackwell just ate a survival meal. Excellent. Okay, don't know why, but I'd be keeping those in the back, put away. Newbie here. What would be a good survival book to read? Any suggestions? It depends on the topic. All right. I'll say the same thing I've said many other times again. There is no one size fits all. All right. If you live in, okay, again, I'll just use it because it's simple. Let's take Angry Prepper and me. He lives in New York City. I live in the sticks in Tennessee. How we prep is completely different. Okay. So, what he needs for survival and what I need for survival are totally different. I mean, maybe a book on foraging is good for me. For him, it doesn't make a lick of difference. All right. He's not going to find wild edibles in New York City somewhere. So, don't buy a generic book saying, 101 tips to surviving a SHTF. Okay, that's bullshit. That's somebody that's trying to sell you something. Depending on what you're looking for. If you want to buy one on medicinal herbs, buy one on medicinal herbs. If you want one on foraging food, telling the difference between poisonous mushrooms and edible mushrooms or something, then buy specifically on that. You're not going to learn how to prep by reading a book. You'll learn how to do it by reading 50 books and watching 1,000 videos, but nothing will be better for you than just experience and getting out and doing it and learning, again, what works best for you. Fantana Ranja. Sometimes I get hypercritical of my preparedness, but I'm pretty good. What area should I invest more into? Metals, livestock, or a sawmill? Okay. Again, this is going to depend on where you are. I'm guessing if you're asking that question, you live in a country area somewhere. I don't think livestock or a sawmill is going to do you any good if you live in the Bronx. If I had a pick out of those three, I'd say livestock first, depending on how much you already have, because livestock will give you a recurring source of food. The sawmill, I can't speak for your situation. I mean, if you've got a house, a barn, whatever it is already done, then sawmill is not really important. As for metals are good for two things. They are wealth preservation for when the world finally comes out of SHTF and you've got something of value, okay? Or in an SHTF to buy something, probably food, that you don't have. Well, If you get the livestock, then more livestock means less metals that you need. So if I had to put it in order, I'd say livestock, and then depending on why, sawmill metals. Okay, but livestock first. Sonny, what's going on in Poland with all the immigrants? Well, you've got all the Afghani immigrants that are coming up after Biden's fustercluck, and Belarus doesn't want to keep them. So Belarus is transporting them across the Belarusian border and trying to dump them off into Poland. Poland doesn't want them. Belarus doesn't want them, but they're already in Belarus. So this is where you get the issue there. And so, and these people, I'm not going to call them immigrants, I'm not going to call them refugees, they got to go somewhere. But, again, it's the same thing. When you're seeking asylum, the first country you get to is where you're supposed to seek asylum. It's not a pick or choose thing, okay? You don't get to go, well, gee, let's see, I'm leaving North Korea. Where should I go? It's not a freaking vacation, all right? If you escape North Korea and you get into South Korea is where you apply for asylum. You don't go, oh, you guys are just a stopping point real quick. I actually want to go to the Philippines, okay? It's the same thing here, all right? And like I've said many times, at least for land, the only places we should be offering asylum to are Mexicans or Canadians, because Hondurans and Guatemalans and Salvadorans and everything like that should all be applying for asylum in Mexico. Now, what comes over the border, in through the airports or the ports, that's a different story. But that's how asylum laws actually work. Andre, did I catch Ice Age Farmer tonight regarding the carbon catch? Yes, I did. Talked about it at the top, and I go into it a little bit more about what he talked about in tomorrow morning's video. Philip J, hello from Spain. There's a new country heard from tonight. Okay, we are all over the place. Signal 40, when you load 45 auto with Winchester powder 230 grain ball, do you load 5.0 grain or 4.8? I couldn't tell you for the life of me for a few reasons. One, I don't do my own loads, and two, I'm a 9mm guy, not a 45 guy. So I'm not the person to answer that question. Maybe somebody else in here is, but it ain't this guy. Philip St. Germain. Okay, I haven't had this question asked in a long time, but it's a good one. What made me want to do YouTube? A couple of years ago, watching prepping videos. Actually, I think the first video I put out was somewhere around Christmas of 2019. Okay, and I put out a couple of videos, and then I got away from it and was watching videos. But I finally decided to start doing it because, and I don't remember exactly what it was, but every video I was turning on was either bullshit or selling something. And I'm like, where is the useful information? I'm going, I went into videos to learn things. That's what I want to do, figure out what I do know and what I don't know. And what I didn't know, I wanted to go learn. But when everything I saw was, buy this or you're gonna die, or, it was conspiracy theories from hell, I'm like, okay, where does somebody go that wants to learn how to do some of these things? I mean, I've got questions about things. Like I said, I don't know everything. I don't a long way from knowing everything. I still watch a ton of videos to learn stuff. Okay. But that was why I started. It's like, okay, I have something to share, and I think people would appreciate not being sold something and not hearing, everybody's clickbait conspiracy theory. And so that's why I started the channel. Okay. SJ Mixon, hello. This is a good question. I was going to go into this one too. Hello from Georgia. Stock up on medications. If so, what kind? So I got an email, and she asked to, or he, I'm not sure, to remain anonymous, but she is, or he is, a pharmacist. in a major, let's just put it this way, major company pharmacy, because she also asked me not to divulge who. And their comment was they don't have the meds to disperse to patients coming in with prescriptions. And so they're spending their time calling around to other pharmacies going, hey, do you have this or that or whatever? And one of the ones that she said that they had a shortage of was insulin. Now that gets scary because there's a whole lot of diabetics that need insulin. Okay, more. You figure I'd say my guess. Okay, and this is a pure guess. Probably your biggest prescriptions out there are either for high blood pressure or high cholesterol. Okay, that's my guess. American diets, but those, yeah. I mean, maybe they're not so short, but they're not. They are life saving, but not. I'm not going to die if I forget to take my high blood pressure medicine in the morning. Okay, you could die if you don't take your insulin. All right. So, what to get? I'd talk to your doctor and say, can I, instead of having a 30-day or 30 or 60 or 90-day supply, can I get a 180-day supply? See, some doctors will write you a double script, okay? Especially if you've been a patient for a while. There's a reason they only write those 90-day scripts, is because they want to make sure you're not selling the drugs, all right? I don't think there's a real big black market for statins or insulin or something like that. But yeah, I mean, other than that, for over-the-counter stuff, absolutely. Get your cold medicines, get your aspirin, get your Tylenol, get your Neosporin. I mean, anything that you should have at least the size of a small duffel bag med kit, okay, is just, and it's, I mean, bandages and gauze and medicines and God knows what in there, relatively organized, but you're figuring a box or something like that along those lines. Any medicine you get is worthwhile because most of it doesn't spoil. Aspirin doesn't spoil. Ibuprofen doesn't spoil. All that stuff is one of the most overlooked preps. And I've said before, prevention is half of it too. Make sure you have soap. Make sure you have shampoo, deodorant, et cetera, et cetera. Those things are important too. Best way to get better from getting sick is to not get sick in the first place. So cleanliness helps a lot. Heroic Prepper, thank you for the super chat. Pinball, glad you did start YouTube. Because of you, I also started a channel and love learning from your channel and others, but also sharing my experience and knowledge. We're in this together. Cool, good deal. And then somebody else, Warrior Cheryl Ann, thank you as well for the super chat. I do appreciate it. A Cushnet Prepper. I thought a mandate was two guys going out for lunch or dinner. Don't even get me started. Yes, but if you want to get into that one, if you notice, the latest thing that's come out of New York City, guys, is now there is a brothel in New York City where if you get taken care of here, you can get taken care of in other ways too. I'm not kidding. Go look on the NY Post. Armored Ghost. Good question. Tennessee versus Kentucky whiskey. Canadian or Irish? Actually, if I had to pick, I mean, my two favorites are Canadian and Irish. So if I had to pick between Kentucky and Tennessee whiskey, Kentucky bourbon. Yeah, Tennessee whiskey. Don't shoot me, guys. I'm going to go for Kentucky. That's, all right. But, okay. HJS video, can we have the acronym for the phrase? The one that you're not supposed to say is LGB. And not in the LGBT way, okay? But LGB is the one that you're not supposed to say. Christopher Emerson, best wild edibles book on the market. Again, that's going to depend on where you are. The wild edibles in the desert of Utah is going to be totally different than the Everglades of Florida. So the best wild edibles book is going to be specific to the area which you live in. I know it sounds like I'm not giving you an answer, but you got to focus these in a little closer to what you're going for. Youngblood, Sweeney is reportedly ready to concede to Mr. Truck Driver Durr in Jersey. Murphy's saying he's dangerous. Murphy's saying he's dangerous, yeah. Because Murphy, you're so far in cahoots with the mob, it's unbelievable. But you're going to call a truck driver dangerous. Gotcha. Okay. Davy Day, what about plug-in space heaters? Good idea or not? I have four kids and live in Middle Tennessee. Okay, I'm gonna give you here's the problem with plug-in space heaters. They're great for when you have electricity. No electricity, no space heater. You're not going to run a space heater on a gas generator, and you're certainly not going to run a space heater on a solar generator. Solar generators just, unless you've got a huge solar generator, it's not going to kick out enough power to power a space heater. So, if you want to go out and spend $2,000 on a top-end Blue Eddy to power a space heater, that's not an effective use of space. So, come up with something better. And again, make sure these are indoor safe, but there's different kinds of heaters. I showed you guys the one I got for $200 that I mounted. Now I had it hooked. I didn't do it. I had a gas guy come in and do it. Hook it up to my propane tank out back. You live in Middle Tennessee. My guess is you're probably on propane too, unless you're in Nashville or something. Something like the one I got will heat 1,400 square feet. Runs off my propane tank. That's fine. I've got backup heat. Don't need electricity for it whatsoever. And I don't need the gas company to exist or whatever. I'm good. In a pinch, if you don't have a big tank, you can actually go out and buy yourself one of the 100-pound tanks and run it off of one of those too. So that would be my suggestion. Don't waste the money and everything like that on a space heater. It's more trouble than it's worth, and it's going to be more dangerous than it's worth. You fall asleep with that thing on, and all of a sudden it tips over, dog runs by it, and you set the house on fire. Miriam N., thank you for the super chat. It is very much appreciated as well. Mr. Brett, you keep saying about my next giveaway, $100 gift card. It's not going to happen. So I will not be giving away gift cards. Mary Max Katz, good evening, Pinball. My cousin you met at the meetup. His work is mandating the jab. He's in healthcare industry that bills Medicare and Medicaid. Okay. A company has the right to do it. A company can say everybody has to paint their face purple and wear green shoes. I mean, they can do that. They're not being discriminatory if they make everybody do it. What the difference is when the company says, we're making you do it because the government says we have to. That they can't do because the government can't say that. Okay, so, but if the company just decides everybody's got to be drug tested, they can do that. There's a company I remember up in Michigan a couple of years ago wouldn't hire smokers. Totally within their right. Somebody took them to court and the company won. That's totally within the company's right. Your right is to not work there. So, Janie Wanning, I mailed Christmas gifts yesterday. Do you think they'll make it by the holiday? Depending on where you mailed them to. If you mailed them somewhere in the United States, I think, yeah, you're golden. Okay. If you mailed them to Siberia, who knows? But if they're in the U.S. and they'll be there by Thanksgiving. Hidden for one, what about the response Biden gave about the stay? Yeah, that he's going to fight it. Oh, I figured he was going to fight it. Okay. The fact that he was calling Americans unintelligent that was a joke, but yeah, Biden's not all there, guys. Okay. He's there to look like a fool. Watch this hand, while Obama in the background is doing something with this hand, but everybody's bitching about The foolishness of Biden, well, the other, the important stuff is going unnoticed. Jen Boyle's A Book on Everything suggestion, the Bible. Moving on. It's the best answer I got for you. Gavin Newsom, David Williams, Gavin Newsom is not normal in any form or fashion. Ain't that the truth? Treasures in Kentucky. To me, it's not prepping that's stressing me. It's the news and the bullshit. Sorry. I know the news can be stressful, but even Mrs. P and I were talking about this evening when I said at the top, she asked me, am I still having fun with this? And I said, yeah. I said, because it makes me pay even more attention to what's going on. And I used the comment to her. I said, imagine this. I said, we don't pay any attention to any of this. I don't do any of this. And all of a sudden, there is no grocery store. There's no food at the grocery store. Or all of a sudden, the power goes out for a week. And I said, we don't know anything about what's going on. We're not prepped. We don't have food, et cetera, et cetera. The news may suck, but I'd rather know what it is, even negative news, and be able to respond to it than not know it's coming and be shocked by it. Now, the bullshit, I'll agree with you on it. And like I answered the earlier question, the bullshit was one of the reasons I started the channel. Matthew Kitchens, America and India World War III champs. Let's hope it never gets there. It's not a prize anybody should be going, hey, this is what I want my administration to be known for. Because was it Einstein that said, I don't know what World War III will be fought with, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones. Charlie Lobb, have I ever watched Patriot Nurse videos? Some of them, yeah. Every once in a while I'll catch what she's got, but I mean, not that often. I mean, there's only so many hours in the day, guys. I mean, there's probably channels I watch that you guys don't watch too. So, Mr. Brett, what about the southern border? Oh, I don't know what, that we got people living under that bridge again? Biden has so screwed up the southern border. I don't know what's going to happen. And I mean, the story I was reading this afternoon is the Border Patrol has, I think, until December 8th to follow the mandate. And if they don't right now, the Border Patrol will lose half of their employees. There's a real smart move. Let's get rid of half of the employees on the border. This is why I keep saying, guys, I still think a lot of this is bluster. Because, New York City, what was it, 35 cops or whatever out of 35,000 said no, okay? But you had like 1,700 firemen who said no. The cops aren't going to, nobody's going to give a flying, what, about 35 cops. And fine, go on, you're out of here. 0.1% of 1%, no big deal. 1,700 cops or 1,700 firemen. Now that's important. That's a number. Okay. Same thing that's going to happen to companies. When a company goes, we're mandating this, and the company and the employees go, cool, you just lost half your employees. The companies think second time. You look at Southwest Airlines. Okay. If the company loses a couple of people, they don't care. If they start losing 20, 30, 40, 50% of their workforce, they're going to stop. Will something happen with the Border Patrol like just happened with the truckers? Do you guys notice today that the truckers now all of a sudden are exempted from the mandates? Something's going to happen with the Border Patrol. Something's going to happen with Walmart. Something's going to happen with Amazon. And all of a sudden it's going to be, you're going to have more companies that are going to get exempted than they are mandated, because the companies will go out of business. Because it's not like you can just go put an application in, we need 8,000 more Border Patrol agents. Okay, we'll interview them all. All right, you go to El Paso, and you go to Nogales, and you go to San Diego. No, it doesn't work that way. I mean, there's training period. Yeah, and not everybody passes. So, it's not like you're hiring dishwashers. Okay. Uh, Mama preps for they should back the currency with Karens, and so since there's so many of those, yeah. The only problem is those Karens aren't worth anything. Uh, CE Gann, a lot of noise about the stock market crashing. You think it will? I've said since the beginning. I said I still see we see a 50% below 20,000 on the Dow by the end of the year. I may be wrong, but I'm still sticking with that. Did I, like I've said to you guys, yeah, I got out last year. Did I miss this run up? Yes. Do I sleep better at night because of it? Yes. Because one day we are going to wake up and every circuit breaker is going to be thrown and they're going to go, holy crap, the market's down 3%, circuit breaker, market's down another 5%, circuit breaker, boom, and you're not going to be able to get out. Benjamin Todd, our dollar is stable, or elected office holders that are not. Yeah, there's a lot of truth to that saying, too. If it wasn't for the unstable elected officers, the dollar would probably be a little in better shape, too. Jennifer Jones, what are they mining for cryptocurrencies? I don't understand. It's finding nuggets online or something like that. I mean, I don't get what the mining is. I mean, I think crypto is a fool's errand, so I don't pay a whole lot of touching it. It's not something physical I can hold. The reason I don't like crypto, real simple, the power goes out, I have no money. Okay, I mean, that's it. At least at temporarily dollar bills, I've got something in my hand. At least with gold and silver, I have something in my hand. Broken Arrow, how many interest rate increases do I think the Fed will make in 2022? I can't even, I know there's one coming, whether it's 25 bips or 50, I don't know. But really going much further out than that, I mean, it all depends on what happens with the economy. The Fed can't figure out what they're going to do a month ahead of time. I'm certainly not going to be able to try to guess what they're doing a year ahead of time. We are down the last couple of minutes here. Romy Davis, do I hunt and fish? Hunt, I haven't in a while. I know how. Fishing, yeah, I do almost every year, though I never got out this year. I live right on the lake, but I have way too much projects going on that I'm still doing here. So, Phyllis St. Germain, what channels do I watch on YouTube? Okay, so if I go through my list, if I can get over to it, hang on a second. The ones that I'm subscribed to would be Ghost Prepper, Prepping 101, Deep South Homestead, The Angry Prepper, Inside Russia, North Shore Preparedness, TJ Preps, Prepper Nurse 1, Magic Prepper, Self-Sufficient Me, Prepper Now, Preparedness Now, The Angry Truth, The Prepared Homestead, Bjorn Bull Hansen, Alaska Prepper, Backwoods and Prepping, Aussie Cossack, M.I. Gardner, The Gardening Channel with James Prigioni, Arkansas Living, Jerry Michelag, Broussard Homestead, Sky News Australia, Lake Ferry, Domestic Gardener or Domestic Gangster, Zombie Farmer, Black Scout Survival, Sutton's Days, East Tennessee Preparedness, Brian Keith Prepper, Roots and Refuge Farm, Down Under Farm, Obama Spike, Papa's Teachings, Lady Casca, Mad Shad, Cage, Frugal Prepping Down Under, The Gemini Prepper, Prepper Days, The Warrior Poet Sided, Gary Pilarczyk. That's it. And you wonder why. It's like, oh, did you watch this one? Oh, and I forgot Ice Age Farmer too, because that one wasn't up there. So yeah, when you say you wonder why did you watch this one, it's like that keeps me very occupied. So okay. Josh Pick 18. Will the dark winter be a good dry run for SHTF? The dark winter will be SHTF. It's not going to be a dry run. That's the real deal. Commander Corvus corrects nevermore. Thank you very much. Okay. That is very much appreciated. Thank you very much for that super chat. And I'm glad I keep you going with the videos. Kind of threw me there for a second. What, 8:59. All right, let me see if I can find one more here, guys. Lots of lowercase stuff. You guys stop it. Oh, here we go. Robert Winslow, holy crap, helicopter just flew over my farm about 800 feet off the deck. Went outside to make sure it wasn't black. Oh, Christ. Angry homesteader, that's how the admin gets away with mandating this. The company's right. That's what they're trying to do because they can't make it a law, so they're going to try to make OSHA make it a rule. I mean, that's the thing, guys. And just to give you this real quick, understand all these crazy mandates, none of them are laws. Okay, Congress has not passed any of these. These are all executive orders or guidelines that somebody's done. I mean, the next president, whoever it's going to be, is going to get out a pencil with an eraser and go, this one and this one and this one and this one, and whoosh, all gone. Okay. And like I said, my guess is when we have a flip of Congress next year, okay, so when 2023 rolls around, we have the new Congress get seated, the first thing they're doing is impeaching these two bozos for constitutional violations. And whoever the next Speaker of the House is, chances are is the one who's, in my opinion, will be president, inaugurated sometime January, February of 2023 before we have the next election. So we'll see what happens there. That's why there was all this speculation that Trump was going to run somewhere as for the House of Representatives. Congress would make him the Speaker of the House, impeach both of these bozos, and Trump would be president again. It would be classic, but all right, 'tis 9 o'clock. Thank you, everybody. It was fun tonight. Y'all have a good one. We will see you all in the morning with more information on what Christian was talking about this afternoon. Have a good evening. Pinball out.